So, can this unit yield my sellers close to $1 million in profit in just 3 years? Hi, if you are new to the channel, I'm Alvin and I'm a real estate buff who's obsessed with all things real estate, especially data and human psychology. I've been fortunate enough to marry that passion with my work as a realtor, allowing me to achieve my dream of owning a landed property and a conservation shop house by the age of 36, together with my wife Elizabeth. And hopefully by sharing our knowledge through this channel, someone out there can achieve their real estate dreams as well by making the right move. So, what kind of unit can yield that kind of profit in such a short period of time, you might ask? So here we are at 1,356 square feet, 4+ study in the newly TOP Clairvaughn, located in Clementi. As you can see, newly TOP, so it's so new we haven't even installed the lights yet, and we don't even intend to install them because we are about to put this unit up onto the market. I'm going to be rolling this into another investment property for our investor clients. So I have two objectives for this particular video. The first of which is, of course, to show you guys around because it's for sale. And you might be thinking, hey, Alvin, first of all, you're trying to sell the property, then you go and tell people how much the owner is making. I'm okay with that. The reason why is because this information is public. It's going to be public anyway. The potential buyer coming in is probably going to know that, right? And if you're the kind of buyer that is not going to be happy paying the owners this kind of profits, you wouldn't be buying it anyway. So you know what? So that's that. I could put that info out there and still show you guys around and try to sell this unit in the same video. I think that's going to be okay. But more importantly, right, it's to perhaps share a little bit of the takeaway, the numbers behind how we came to this particular purchase, some of the thought process, some of the learning points that we can do, basically takeaways, right, for this successful little purchase. And so for those of you who are looking to buy properties for investment, own stay, some of the things that you can potentially learn. So I learned some stuff along the way as well. Thought we could share that with all of you to benefit everyone. So here I am at the level 1 amenities deck. I'm just gonna talk through a couple of the parts where I like the most. I'm not gonna physically hold this and walk the entire development because then you don't get to see the development, you just see my face. I'm gonna slot those in either through photos or B-rolls for all of you, right? I'm starting off here, which is the pathway between the blocks and the pool, and this, oddly enough, I mean, I always point out this odd stuff, right? But I like how wide this is. Can you appreciate just how wide this is? And it just gives the place a grand feel when we could afford a large size of pathway, right? You know, a lot of the times in other condos, this is, you know, probably just 2 meters, enough for people to walk. But this one, at least it's about 8 to 9 meters. And Clairvaughn as a whole, I like how the facilities deck, if we're standing on the first floor, we are looking on the south side totally clear. So on this side, all clear. So giving us a very airy, spacious feel to the whole place, which I like. Over in the pool, I like the color, the choice of color of the tiles. Dark blue, so very subtle. The wood that they use, they went for a bit more easy to maintain composite wood instead of the traditional real wood, which is perfectly fine by my standards. What's more important is it's easy to maintain. Extremely breezy because it's nice and true. Another thing that you're going to notice for Clairvaughn is they did away with, I believe, the first 3 3 levels of what traditionally would have had units over there. Again, encourages wind flow, which I've always liked, right? This is a bit lower than Park Clementi's. Park Clementi's, you will see 6 floors before you reach the 2nd floor, but over at Clairvon, 2 stories in between. But still, right, I think each of them have its own unique points. For Clairvon, I still like it very, very much. Nice, this walking down this huge wide pathway. We have the drop-off point over here. Again, once you walk in, you are greeted not by any blocks, right? It's this big open field view with this nice wide walkway, Japanese style lanterns by the side of the water features and everything. Very, very nice. So over on that side is the gym, and a very popular actually function room, co-working space. Very nice area over there. There's a lot of people, so I don't want to go inside at this point in time to shoot there. Yeah, but very nice space. So over here by the pool, we have this infinity pool vibe to the edge and falls off from that side. But yeah, tile color of the pool tiles is actually something that has a outsized impact on the whole feel and vibe of the pool. So that's actually quite important. Below the blocks, they also have amenities and facilities. So it's not your very empty void deck kind of feel. Very nice Japanese Zen lava stone gardens. On this side, function rooms. We have a karaoke room, a games room on that side. And then further down, we have perhaps one of the best kind of playgrounds. A huge playground, right? Water playground, one water playground and like 2-3 kids playground. Very, very nice down on that side. And then as we walk over there, there's a side gate there that links you to the bus stop that you can take a direct bus and that goes down towards the city. So, you know, very, very nice feel vibes of the place. UOL like to do this kind of very high percentage landscaping, low percentage building footprint for their projects ever since Principal Gardens, right? So Clairvon, moving forward Pine Tree, a lot of those developments have high landscape percentage on the land use and low building footprint, which comes off very, very well when you pick up your keys, right? My clients that have came here, collected their keys, they all like it very, very much, and that's important in the resale market as well, because that's going to impact. And so this very first impressions kind of thing is very, very important, because in the resale market, people buy on emotions, and if they like the place, the feel and vibes of the place, half the battle is won already. So just for good measure, like as if I don't like the development enough, right? They have this, a whole area of swinging lounge beds. Look at it. It's suspended on a rope, right? Okay, point to note, there's fans, and as obvious as you might think this is, there's a lot of developments that don't put fan in their pavilion, one barbecue pit or what, don't put fan, right? So you got to point out the obvious, albeit as obvious as it might look. But you know, I love this. Look at it. It's like swing for adults. So relaxing, and for two, great place to park tour if you want. But of course, everyone will be looking at you. But yeah, great place. Love it. I did like one of the content over here. I think later on you'll see that. But really nice chill place here, right beside the tennis court. We have all this greenery, very nice. And then Clairvon has very nice, spacious right? Some of the developments, right, because the land is too small, they're trying to cram so many things inside, right, that you don't really get nice wide pathways, you know, nice wide planting strips like that. So just all around now, when you walk here, you don't have that cramped feel, even though Clementi is perhaps one of the densest built up neighborhoods around, right? If you look over there, you could see how dense it is. But great work on the architects, the developers part to really allow us to have a condo situated in a mature estate that still gives you this really spacious feel. start with the house tour proper, and I'm starting off in the balcony because this is where we get to see the highlight of the house, right, which is the view. So we are on the 20 plus floor, 20 something floor. So we are facing away, this particular unit, we are facing away from the AYE. The AYE runs on that side. This is west. Anyway, since we are taking a look at the view, this gives me a great chance to kind of orientate you guys around the vicinity. That is Bukit Timah Hill. I do like that view very much. In terms of feng shui, it's also quite good, right? Because there's the hill at that side. We are here in the middle, and on the south side, that would be the sea facing the other side. But feng shui aside, yep, a little bit of orientation for us. AYE, that's west. Over there, that would be Clementi MRT. So we are about 800 meters to Clementi MRT. If we walk, we will skirt across over here and we will land on Clementi MRT right behind these blocks over there. So we picked this particular unit at this height, was hoping to clear this block and also to keep a good distance away from the blocks over here lah. So all this HDB blocks, congratulations to them. They'll probably be sitting on tons of profit, especially after this week's news of the 1.72, was it 1.72, 1.73 mil HDBs, which coincidentally we can see them over there. That has been clocked, right? So all these guys, congratulations to them. If you are looking to upgrade, I mean, I don't think they have hit their MOP yet, but you know, if you have a chance to upgrade, feel free to come over and take a look at us. So now on this side, which is facing east, that I believe is Nanhua Secondary. Nanhua Primary is on the other side, which unfortunately it's 1.2 above 1 km away from us lah. So on this side we face east, and if you zoom in, let me try to do that. Zoom in all the way, you could see very far away, that's the Singapore skyline of the CBD. So with any luck on a clear day, you'll be able to see that far away, right? So that's the view that you're going to enjoy over here. Nothing else will come pretty much too close to us to block it off. And now let me perhaps go to the main door and start and continue the tour from there. So starting the tour or continuing the tour, because we've already started at the balcony from here, the main door. So pretty standard main corridor here. This is a 4 premium, so 4 plus study. 1356 in size. It comes with a proper study room, which I will show you later on. But there's no private lift for this particular size. We are perhaps the biggest size without the private lift. The 5 bedders over at Clermont will have the private lift. Yeah. So very little wasted space coming in to the unit. But of course, some people may have a bit of complaints with the fact that when you open this door, it looks straight into the living dining area. I personally don't mind, but some people do, right? But if you don't have this kind of style, right, then we will have to have a kink and to have the door open on the other side of the kink. When they first started off, the interesting thing is, a couple of years back, people used to hate that with the kink like that, right? Because they feel it's a huge waste of space. But now more and more so, I don't hear that complaint that much. I have that in my unit at Park Esta. Honestly, I don't mind that too much, because if your unit is north-south facing, right, you could leave your door open, keep the privacy you have inside your house, and allow the natural ventilation through. So for here, I mean, we are a corner unit, so there's only one unit next door. So if actually you still want to keep your door open, it's not that bad, down to personal preference, okay? But the benefits of which is very little wasted space lah, right? So this 1356 square feet, I would say is very well utilized, developed by UOL, so you know, can't go too far wrong. Now stepping in, I stand over here, you could see the dry kitchen, over there. I like it how they have pushed the dry kitchen out this way, yet allowing you to have the flexibility to enclose it if you want. All you need to do is just to add a piece of glass here and do the sliding glass, then you can close this off, right? Very even angle, so to speak. Or if you don't like it, or you don't feel there's a need for this, you could remove it and then have a much bigger dining area. But as it is, the dining area is already quite comfortable. Stepping into the kitchen, of course, fridge could be bigger for a 4-bedder. Yeah, but if you want to have a bigger fridge, then you may have to sacrifice this this cabinet over here lah. Yeah, that's probably the one gripe that I have. Could be bigger. Stepping into the dry kitchen, then you may understand why they probably chose to have the dry kitchen on the outside. I like it that they, instead of giving you a huge enclosed kitchen, they decided to split it into two. The reason why is from a design perspective. It's so that when you step into the house, you see from this angle, right, this part is kept clear. So, and I talk about this a lot when I analyze properties, analyze floor plans, or give home tours. It's the visual perception of the space. If you can see more of the space, especially a huge part of the space, when you step into the house, it just makes the house feel bigger. Now imagine if they instead they go the more traditional route, right, to try and give you a huge, big dry kitchen, a big wet kitchen, right, then I'm going to have a wall over here, and then visually when I step in, then the perception is closed off all the way until here. Then I need to take 2-3 steps, come here, and then be able to visualize the whole space, of which I already lose this distance first and foremost, right? Lose this couple of distance first and foremost, so I look then a lot closer to the window already. Yeah, and I think UOL, being one of my favorite developers, very smart in terms of how they manage their architects as well, realize that more and more so people don't really ask for that big of a kitchen anymore. So while some of you may feel that this kitchen is a bit small, especially for a 4-bedder, I think it's enough. It's not the biggest 4-bedder in the world, but of course we can double up the use of the biggest kitchen for 4-bedder around, right? But of course, if you utilize the external dry kitchen, I believe it's sufficient. So here, I mean, of course, some people may complain, no gas stove. This is an enclosed kitchen, but we still have an induction stove. My owner actually really like it, right? Because easy to maintain. Shifting preferences, yeah, shifting preferences. Used to hear a lot of complaints with regards to, gas stove, small kitchen and whatnot. But nowadays, more and more so, I hear people not wanting gas stove, right? I believe it's like 1-2 years back, I started to hear people like changing out gas stove to electrical stove, right? Earlier on, I mean, I've been doing this for like 8 to coming 10 years already, right? It's quite interesting how preferences change along the way. Nowadays, I don't really hear complaints that much about kitchen sizes anymore, and I'm starting to see a preference shift towards induction, or not so much induction, hot surface stove, because of maintenance, and if people don't use it for a long time, it's just a lot easier to wipe. We have a sink over here again. Perhaps one complaint could be bigger. I personally would like bigger sinks, but for new developments, pretty standard. We have a nice looking backsplash. The way they have done attention to detail again, they have done all the way to the corner, and they created a curb. Some developments, you see the curb is very short, and so then you will spill stuff, or hit the paint work on the sides. Here also you notice no paint at all, except for of course the ceiling in the kitchen/yard area, which is very good for maintenance. They have tiled all the surfaces, even down on this side. Some developments, they only paint it, which is terrible for maintenance upkeep over the long term, right? So kudos to UOL, expect nothing less. Yeah, curbs all around. Some developers, funny enough, you see, they just flush it straight in one. So all the dirty water end up will go there and then drip in and ruin your cupboard. 4-5 years max, your cupboards will be ruined. At least this is not bad. Even better ones, it will be singular piece. I think that's the more popular sintered stones right now, or they have a seamless one straight up. yeah, that would have been even nicer, but you know, not too bad already lah. In terms of storage, we still have top hung and bottom, so good amount on both sides. Yeah, good decent amount. So we don't have a yard area per se. It's somewhat merged in within the kitchen area lah. So we have the washer dryer on this side. Again, I think it's quite smart. Of course, some of you may say, no yard, then everything mixed together. But you know, given a choice, you want to shrink down the space or just have an absorbed yard area. I personally wouldn't mind an area like that because I don't do laundry anyway. So WC here, right? Very clever design because we have a Jill door, Jack and Jill door from here, right? So it can allow the utility room to also connect to the WC. Now continuing over here, dining area, good size. Just look at this size here. Maybe I can take a walking steps so y'all can visualize. 1, 2, 3, 4 meters length from the dry kitchen to the corner over here. So it's pretty good, right? Then this side is the living area. Also a pretty good, decent length one. We could try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So also 4 by 4 meters. So that gives us a good almost 10 meters. The balcony is not terribly big, and this is the only balcony we have. Sometimes, you know, 4 bedders, they have like balconies in the master bedroom and whatnot, right? Which is, I will admit, which is kind of annoying sometimes, but you know, just nice, not overly big over here. So that 1, 3, 5, 6, you really get to enjoy a lot of that space. Now, coming into this is the utility room. Good size, if you can see this way. Utility room even has an aircon. I know some of you may think, then like that, extra aircon to service and whatnot, but they give better than they don't give lah. They give already, you can choose not to use right? Better than they don't give, then you have to put it in, right? A proper door over here. Yeah, so that's a good size. We can access it 2 sides from this side lah. But if you want to access it this side, then you have to go through the WC to go into the kitchen. So if not, right, if this is solely being utilized as your helper's room, you can just keep this door closed and then your helper will go in and out from that door. Coming over here in the corridor, we have a nice little nook for storage over here, good depth, about ½ meter. Over in the bedrooms over at Cleveland, all very good size. Oh yeah, I forgot to highlight common areas, including the utility room is marble flooring, very nice marble flooring done nicely with marble gum. So we don't have the grooves in between, right? Good for maintenance, and if you really look down this way, you could see it just looks like it's one big piece. Very nice and bright. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, you could do marble gum also if you have tiles, and it's something that I do recommend owners of, like, let's say brand new BTO HDB to do as well. It just brings in a lot more light. It can reflect the light better into your house and just naturally making it brighter than it is. Yeah, used to be expensive, but I think nowadays it's a lot more. It's cheaper already. So it's something that you can really consider. And then we have real timber strips for the rooms, done in a very light style, not too dark. Of course, if you like something a bit darker, you could choose to stain it to you. Wardrobes are floor to ceiling, all the way to the top, right? We don't have that cut off halfway through that we see with some developers. The last era of floor to ceiling windows, not going to see them anymore with the onset of GFA harmonization. So it's something still quite rare for us, and it's going to become more rare in the future. So do appreciate all these floor to ceiling windows while we still can. common toilet over here. All these are tiles lah. This will not be marble. All these are tiles, but again done in a very nice style, large, relatively large format. So in kitchen, if you're doing your own renovation, right, try to use as large format. I kind of read this somewhere. As large format a tile as you can. It helps with maintenance because most of the time, right, the grooves are the one that's very annoying to upkeep, right? Because the grooves, they catch all the dirt and dust and whatnot. So try to use as large a format as you can. Pretty standard on this side lah. Windows and whatnot. Now this is the study room. Okay, it comes with 2 panels of window, so this could easily fit in a single bed. So if I'm pushing it, I could market or sell this as a 5-bedder. It's a 4+ study, but you know, this one can fit in a single bed. Even has this sliding door to link over to the other bedroom, right? And yeah. So quite rare also lah to have a study room, have an aircon also. Aircon, windows and door. To me, that's that can classify as a bedroom, right? So we have seen bedroom 1, study room. This is bedroom 2, same size. I would say about 9 square meters lah. Pretty standard for most developments today. So study, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, all facing outwards, northwards, in the same direction as your living room, right? We have then now stepping into the master bedroom, similarly facing north. Master bedroom, pretty spacious. Maybe again utilizing my legs as distance, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a pretty good size. Maybe I stand here. Yeah, try my best to allow to help you all have a good size representation. Maybe another good way is PowerPoint to PowerPoint can fit in a king size bed. With side tables, so then that gives you this about 1.5 meter spacing between the power plug and the cupboard. Okay, so master bedroom, decent size. We have the master toilet that has this very pretty oval shaped mirror. Yeah, similarly in terms of the color, same with the common toilet, naturally ventilated. So both the toilets are naturally ventilated. No bathtub, built-in concealed cistern for the toilet bowl. This material, very nice. I believe this should be quartz, if I'm not wrong. Could be a bit deeper, a bit bigger, and a bit deeper for the sink. Yeah, I mean, if I'm trying to just point out stuff that we can be improved on now. And on to the last bedroom. Now, most of the time, the bedroom at the back is by far the worst bedroom, which is quite sad for the kid that is, you know, moving into a 4-bedder, then have to kena the rear bedroom. Or if not, sometimes I always see people put their grannies here, that kind of thing, which is a bit sad. But this one, no. Okay, first, we get a good amount of windows, right? And on the back room, you don't get floor to ceiling. Why? Because the aircon is on that side, so they have to usually keep it half height for the bedrooms facing the back. But this one, they didn't try to save on the windows. A lot of the times, the back bedroom, maybe they give you the worst that I've seen. Actually, my Park Esta one, maybe 3 only, but this one, they give you 1, 2, 3, 4 good size windows, so it keeps this bedroom still very bright. Yeah, and then I'm going to swap it over to show you the views. And this one, so this unit, I would say, give you dual views. Of course, face the back bo pian lah, right? On this side, you still get another unit. But if you really zoom into this way, we get a bit of sea view. See, this faces south, that one is the port and whatnot. And no lah, sea maybe cannot see lah. Yeah, but yeah, you do get the port and facing south. Pretty clear view here. So that's the AYE. So I would admit this bedroom, if you open up, maybe I can open up for us all to listen to it together. See whether you all can hear it with me, if it's noisy. I think it's a nice, we are high enough. So actually primarily I'm hearing more wind and construction as opposed to the highway noise. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the unit tour. So now that we are done with the tour of the unit, because there's no chair and nowhere to sit in the house, we gotta go and have a change of environment. I'm coming down here to level 1. I have to pick somewhere that we can sit, and I found this very nice little corner that's beside the tennis court. It's a nice pavilion. They have fans. I didn't on the fan because I didn't want the wind to interfere with the audio. And they have this very interesting like lounge beds that are suspended, so they are like a swing, right? Yeah, I quite like it, but hopefully I'll try not to swing too much and make the visual too dizzy. But yeah, little change of environment and more importantly, somewhere to sit. Now, let's talk about the second part of the video, the numbers behind everything and some of the things that we learned through this successful little case study. So number one, let's break down the numbers before we move on, right? So my clients bought this unit about 2.2 million. We are on the high 20-something floor. A unit on the 10th floor has been sold already, caveated at 2.9 million. So I don't think it's unrealistic for us to aim for somewhere around the $3 million price point. We're probably going to put it out for 3.2 million, and if we really can hit that, then yes, we're going to achieve that $1 million in profit. And this is the second unit. Yeah, so why I'm confident with this is because this is the second 4-bidder that we'll be selling in the Clementi area. We have already sold another 4-bidder on the other development, Park Clementi, for 2.92 million, and that's a smaller unit, 1292 square feet, and that owner has also yielded a very fantastic profit. I'm probably going to talk about that case study probably over at Park Clementi in another time. So yeah, I think it's not overly optimistic to predict or to expect the kind of profits, right? At least in the 800k. So I'm guessing between the 800k to 1 mil price point, 1 mil kind of range. Yeah.
So let's dive into the numbers in greater detail. So when I talk about the profits earlier on, it's gross profits before taking out costs, right? And so what I want to do now is to talk about the numbers in greater detail. So we were talking about net profits, okay? So let's start off first with the purchase price again, right, at 2.2 mil. The average interest that they paid in the last 3 years is about 3.5%, okay? So first off, the down payment, right, about $500,000 in terms of down payment, stamp duties, set us back at about 60k. Mortgage payments via the progressive payment came out to be about $80,000. So here's the total amount of equity put in, right? Equity can be a combination of cash and CPF, right? So this is how much we actually put in. Now, if we take a sale price of 2.95 million, in order to calculate net profits, right, we minus off purchase price, minus off interest expense, that came out to be about $46,000 over 3 years, right, because it's progressive payment. We less off the stamp duties and less off agent fees and other expenses like legal fees, bank fees, so on, right? So we see a net profit of about $643,000 $400. This is very, very decent. We have almost doubled our money, right? We make 93% returns on how much we actually put in. And so if we annualize that, that gives us a fantastic 31% annualized gains per annum, right? Net returns on equity per annum. The reason why I look at this kind of numbers, or this term net returns on equity per annum, is to allow us to compare on an apple basis with other forms of investments. Yeah, and as we all know, right, it's going to be very, very hard for us to get this kind of returns. Even in the stock markets, you're never going to get this kind of returns with more traditional investment styles like fixed deposit and those kind of things. Okay, so moving forward, another matrix that we utilize. So this is if you go on to HPROC to try to see the profitability of properties, right? We utilize percentage annualized gains per annum. Okay, so for this calculation, it's a lot more straightforward. All you need to do is just take the sale price minus of the purchase price, divided again by the purchase price, and then divided by the holding period. Okay, so this is what we utilize across the board, and that kind of helps us to be able to compare different kind of unit sizes on an apple to apple basis.
This is also the matrix that I utilize for my exit strategy framework planning, which I'll talk a bit later on in this video, or maybe at this point in time take the opportunity to put that link for that video somewhere over in this video. So now that's the numbers behind everything. Very, very good for both from not just from a real estate investment basis, on an investment basis across the board, right? 34% net returns on equity per annum. On a real estate apple to apple comparing to other real estate, a double-digit annualized return, it's very, very good. I don't even have that for my Park at Star unit, right? So that's very good. So that's the numbers to think. So now maybe you could share a little bit about the thought process that went behind selecting Clairvaughn, or why did we make this move, buy this particular property to begin with. Okay, so my clients came to me and they were looking purely for investment, right? They have a current property to stay at, they're very happy with it, right? So after taking that brief, right, Elvin, this is the rough budget that we have, we are happy with currently where we stay, we have one extra name, we just want to buy for investment, right? Just to note, most of my clients that bought in Clementi, so we have about five clients, right, that bought Clementi, split between 6 clients, right, buy between Clairvaughn and Park Clementis. Yeah, none of them stay in the Clementi area. None of them. Anyway, even anywhere close to Clementi. Okay, but they decided to buy here because pure investment, right? So there's no emotions attached to the location, right? Fundamentals, the data, it's all down to the data. Okay. So because they had a place to stay, and I asked them the question, are you happy to stay there for the foreseeable future? The answer is yes. So then, right, straightforward, I told them your strength is that you're happy with the place you're at. It's a big enough size for you. It was a 3-bedder, and at that point in time, there was just 2 of them. It could cater for family expansion, right? So I felt that property meet the needs and they were happy there. So we just focus on investment, not going to stay here at all. So it's fine that we buy somewhere here, yeah, and we buy a slightly larger unit. So that's their strength, right? So this is something that I utilize in analyzing the correct moves or the most optimized moves for our clients moving forward, is to really understand what are their strengths. And when I mean by strengths, right, it means what do they have that most other consumers don't. Okay, yeah, so something like a SWOT analysis, so to speak, right? What do you have that other clients don't? So what do they have? A place to stay, happy to stay for a while, and they also have a good budget. So I determined that what's the best move forward would be to purchase a large unit in the OCR, new launch unit. Right, for the following reasons. Now, reason number 1, right, it capitalizes on the time that they have. They're happy to stay in their current house, so they can happy to hold this particular unit 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, right? Of course, the sooner the better, right? It was good that we managed to capitalize on the profit in the 3 years, even before the SSD is up, but they were comfortable holding it for a slightly longer period of time. They didn't need any house within the next 3 years, which is why I said, right, go and buy a brand new development. That's totally okay. So today we are looking to sell to owner-occupiers that don't have that luxury of time to wait, right? So Your strength is you have time to wait, so you can sell to them those people that cannot afford to wait, didn't want to wait. Because if you think about it, right, the buyers of 4 bidders, right, they are of a particular family size, and it's logistically very tough for them to sell their house, go out to rent, and then buy a new development or wait out for a new development. Okay, which is why if for ECs they have this thing called the deferred payment scheme, so that you don't have to sell your house, go out to buy or go out to rent before you get something, if you can afford to have the deferred payment scheme. So understanding this kind of dynamics in the market allow us to make certain decisions. Yeah, so they had the luxury of time to wait. Then we wait buy new development, then we wait, then we sell to the people that cannot wait, right? That's number one. Number two, think contrarian. What do I mean by that? Because a lot of the times when people buy for investment, they want to buy the slightly smaller units. Now, in terms of when you sell, right, there's a lot more competition when you are selling smaller units, right? Because a lot of them are investors, they are looking to flip. Not to say you cannot buy those small units, you buy what your budget can allow, right? It's still a good buy. The units here, the 2 bidders are still making very good profits, right? Some people will always ask me, hey, Alvin, but big one got people buy for investment or not? And whenever you hear things like that, right, part of your mind should switch around to think contrarian. If everybody is thinking like that, then does it put me in a better position if I can think on the opposite side of the fence? So now, the benefits of buying a large unit for investment. Number one, right, the lack of supply in the market at any point in time. Right, currently at Clairvon, I believe there's probably only 2 to 3, 4 bidders for sale. On the other hand, 1 bidders and 2 bidders, there's significantly higher number. So at any point in time when you're selling a unit and you have not as much competition, you have higher calling power. Okay, not just within Clairvon. If you look across Clementi, the more popular developments, Clement Canopy, Trilink, Park Clementis, Clairvon, for example, right, there usually isn't more than 5 or 6 4 bidders for sale. I'm talking about 4 bidder premium, right? That was one of the reasons why I managed to sell my Park Clementis 4-bedroom premium at a significantly higher price than the last transacted one, because at that point in time we were the only, and Park Clementis, mind you, is a 1,000 over unit development, which should fetch a record price because we're the only 4 bidder premium unit for sale in a 1,000 over unit development, right? And so, like, I quote you 5 to 6 units for sale, right? And that's because Clairvon and Park Clementis are within 1 year of DOP. Give it a couple more years, that number should average out to about maybe 2 to 3 at any one point in time, giving you, on a seller's basis, pricing power. Yeah, right? There's no supply, you can price however high you want. People are forced to pay you. Okay, so point number 3, right, which is letting the developers stage the price up for us, right? So since we are not, we have the luxury of time to wait, right? We could just buy in the new developments and make money in the easiest way, which is tailgating the developers. Okay, so and mind you, when we bought this unit, right, Clairvon was about 70+% sold already. So I thought this was a useful point to share with the viewers as well, because I get a lot of concerns nowadays with buying units that are not at launch, right? You don't buy things at launch, right? Because they feel, number one, I'm paying a bit more expensive than the people that paid at launch already. Is it still okay? Yeah, the price have already increased. Is it still okay? So I like to flip it around for you, right? Number one, most importantly, is fundamentally it has to be correct. So fundamentally for Clairvon, right, the PSF even at that point in time was still very, very fair. It was almost the same as a unit at Clement Canopy. I've seen that data over at Clement Canopy, giving me that confidence to still enter. Fundamentally, it still has to be correct. Okay, you're not paying way above the surrounding or way above the units within your particular development. So I give you this case study, right? The people that bought the 4-bedder on the lower floor on day 1 got entered at almost 1,500 PSF. We entered 1,600, mid 1,600 PSF, almost 150 PSF more than the day 1 buyers. Would that have been a stumbling block for a lot of people? Maybe I can put that question to you, right? Would that have stopped you from buying? I was quite confident because I still had other data points to pick up from, mainly surrounding development PSFs, and also we are on a higher floor, so that's also totally okay. Last one was because we are buying a 4+ study. I knew for a fact come the resale market, there wouldn't be that much of a competition, because sometimes my people will mind block. If I buy a bit more expensive, what if at that point in time a lot of people sell and they can price at a discount to me and they will undercut me? Yes, that's true to a certain extent, but also have to depend on unit sizes. So like if you buy a larger unit size, you buy a bit later on, not so bad, because not so many units will come onto the market. But if let's say you buy a 1 or 2 bedder, then you probably got to pay a bit more attention to the kind of price points that you are entering at, especially if it's low-rise developments and you're buying not particularly higher floor. So for Clavon, 2 blocks, higher floor, people bought the lower floors first, right? So they buy cheaper, quite normal. You buy higher floor, a bit more expensive, totally okay. A red flag would be higher floor unit buy more expensive than you. Then you probably got to be more wary, right? Or you're buying the last few units that are the low floor, that the price have significantly came up. Those will be some red flags to avoid. Okay, so based on these 3 points, right? Understanding the client's brief, understanding the strengths that they have, right? Utilizing these 3 points, we zoomed in on probably 2 developments for them. Okay, so in 2021, when we bought this particular development, what was my investment thesis, right? So in different phases of the market, I have different investment theses over at that part, and I've put all of that out transparently on the channel. I've been doing, the channel has been on since COVID, so during that point in time, I've already been putting up predictions. Which is why I'm going to put that, I have the luxury to put that into the description, or basically plug that into this video, so that you know I'm not just making things up, right? I said this 3 to 4 years back, and it's in fact coming true. So the investment thesis then was to buy as big a development or as big a unit as possible in the OCR, because I knew OCR was going to go into the undersupply, and that still holds true today. The OCR is going to go into a period of undersupply, because a lot of the supply is coming in terms of new land supply coming in the CCR and the RCR. So OCR is going to be undersupplied and continuously so, in my opinion, moving forward. So still holds true today. So that investment thesis still holds true today. So yeah, I'm going to put that prediction in the link, so you can check that out, right? So that for sure has come true. Now on the project selection front, okay, I spotted opportunity whereby you can enter a new development at very close, or actually even cheaper than resale PSF, which is super duper rare to find. And at that point in time, there were 2, right? We had Clavon and we had Penrose. Today, both of which are sitting on very, very good profits. So if you see a new development, of course, you've got to be very careful with this, because sometimes some people like to, take a project that is a bit more prime, a bit more premium, a bit further away, and say that today this new development entry price PSF is quite similar, so it's safe, right? I try to take it as apple to apple as possible. So for example, Clavon, we have Climate Canopy, which is actually further away from the MRT, and similarly not within 1 km of Nanhua, so quite similar, right? Unit sizes are also pretty much similar, right? So it's a very good comparable to have. Over at Penrose, we had Sims Urban Oasis that's right beside Penrose. Some of the PSF have already hit, right, what you would enter Penrose at, right? And if we take a bit more further closer to the MRT, and we have Park Place that's also hit a certain PSF, and on a similar new launch to new launch basis, comparing to Park Esta has already risen the price a bit higher than Penrose entry price. So again, right, Penrose and Clavon was basically, it's safe to say now if you look back, it's like in a kind of a no-brainer. But at that point in time, there were obvious concerns with regards to number 1, Clavon not being close to the MRT, right? We are 800 meters away, a bit of a walk. We are not within 1 km of Nanhua. So all these concerns were still prevalent at that point in time. But how we utilize strong fundamental understanding, taking data and comparables to give us that kind of assurance to move forward. Okay. So like I said, some of those fundamentals still hold true today, but it's very hard for us to find similar fundamentals as the entry kind of thesis for Clavon, right? New at resale PSF. But does that mean there's no longer good deals on the market right now? The answer is no. Okay, as a matter of fact, there's some new developments that I feel even more compelled feel even more compelling than Claiborne and Penrose, right? Albeit with different investment theses, right? Different time, use different investment thesis, right? That said, while I've always made my decisions and recommendations based on data and research, there's still a little bit of like a guess work gut feeling kind of thing to the recommendations, especially still during this period, right? Which is why I've spent a lot of time utilizing the takeaways and case studies from my 10 years of doing this, right? And also having witnessed multiple cycles, the COVID cycle, the 2018 cycle, extracting the data that matters to profits and to, right, the developments, right? And developing a framework that takes the guessing work and the gut feeling out of selecting properties. And I've created a video explaining that particular framework. I'm going to put that link down in the description below and also probably somewhere right here, so you can go over and learn that particular video, right? I've even gone to the extent of back testing some of the info, right? At the point of me shooting this video, that is not done yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be putting that out, right? Because how do you know it works? You gotta make sure that you back test the thing. Yeah, so with all that said and done, if you resonate with our systematic data-driven approach to number one, portfolio planning, property purchases, or you just basically are lost as to what to do, you don't really know what projects to pick, feel free to reach out to us, right? We're happy to jump on a non-obligatory call together with you, or if you already learned enough watching the videos, then great, right? If not, if you've benefited from this video, you enjoyed the video, learned something, right? Do us a favor, drop a like, subscribe, as you help out the channel a ton. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.